Hi, everybody. Welcome back to a pop up. Yes, your girl is popping up on a Sunday. Why, you say? Well, I was in these internet streets like I am in them every day. And something came to me saying, you know what? You hadn't checked in on Tom Sykes in a while. What is he over there saying over there on the Daily Beast, especially after Harry's huge win? Wonder what he got to say about that. Well, I just popped over there and I found this. Yes, he has a headline and a story about Anne, but don't let it fool you. What have we come to understand that every time these flying monkeys write about any of the left behinds over there, it's always a Harry and Meghan angle somewhere in the story. And this particular story is no exception. It is absolutely all about Harry and Meghan. Now he starts out, well, I'm going to put it up and let's read it, and then you'll find out why it is about Harry and Meghan. Because he starts out talking about Anne, but somehow he squeezes Harry and Meghan in there and makes it about them. The name of the article, I'm going to put it up, is King Charles' sister, Princess Anne, finally addressed terrifying horse accident. I read what he said about Anne, and it is nothing new in this particular article that hadn't been said since she got out of the hospital since this incident happened. She don't know what happened. She don't know if the horse kicked in the head. She has no side effects, she said, except the memory loss. Why would that generate an article? I don't know. But but if you go on down, it says reckoning with morality. And then it says plus, look down there in small writing. Plus, did Prince Harry settle with Rupert Murdoch to avoid leaving the US amidst Trump crackdown on immigration? These people, like I said, they cannot handle the fact that Harry won. They cannot handle, they still hadn't handled the fact that Harry has left for good. Like I said, they cannot get to the end of their 5 stages of grief. No way can they get there because we know the last stage is acceptance, and they refuse to accept the fact that Harry wears them out every time he go to court. Well, Meghan too. I don't think they have lost a case. And if they did, it was a small case. I think Harry dropped the case with the mail about a little issue what they had put in the paper saying that he had somehow taken advantage of vets, or he something they had put in that paper, and Harry didn't like it, but he eventually dropped it. I think that happened. But other than that, Harry and Meghan has worn them out time and time again. And Harry has said every time he gets in front of a microphone that he's not coming back there. But yet and still, here they are. They can't accept any of it because of the fact that they know that they are in the wrong and they're on the wrong side of history. And they are just mad that Harry has rejected them. Because we all remember that story when Harry left, and they just said that they thought they were the masters of the universe and they had the power of life and death and who would survive and who would perish in the power of their pen. Fleet Street did. And they even went as far as to threaten Harry and Meghan and saying that they were going to be punished. Y'all remember that article that appeared in the Daily Fail saying that Harry and Meghan was going to be punished? They really thought that they were going to be able to destroy Harry and Meghan. And it has turned out they have done just the opposite. The opposite was that they pissed Harry off. And Harry has done nothing but ride them like a pony ever since. And he has not, he has not fell back one step, but yet and still, they still cannot get to that last stage of grief. They cannot get to acceptance. And now here they are still stuck in denial. You know what I'm saying? You are in denial. Look like you would be in bargaining. You are still in. I think maybe they stuck between denial and bargaining. I'm just saying. Because these people cannot move down and they cannot move through these five stages of grief. And it's so unhealthy for them because, and you can see it in them, they continue to get more and more and more desperate. And this write up this section in this particular article because it's masquerading as an article when in actuality it's Harry's article. But they cannot hide their desperation. And it has gotten to the point where they cannot even see how stupid and foolish they look with all the nonsense that they continue to spew because they deny the fact that Harry won this case. He won big. He made Murdoch bow down, something that nobody, and when I tell you nobody, has done before him, nobody. And they cannot take it. I'm not even going to talk about the part about Anne because, like I said, in actuality, this is not an Anne article. This is a Harry's article. So we're going to skip over here and talk about what he said about Harry. That particular section where he talks about Harry, which is the biggest part of the article, these people need to stop. They really do. He titled it, Did Fear of Trump Persuade Harry to Settle? See, they cannot absolutely come to terms with the truth that the fact that Harry settled nothing, they settle with him. When you come out with everything that you want, everything that you have mapped out that you want out of a case and you get that, where is the settling part? That's what I want to know. Where is the settling part? I'm just saying. All right, but let's get into this part really, really quick. And it says, an interesting idea is floated by usually well informed associate editor of the Telegraph. I cannot even I can't even get my head around that the person that they're talking about, they're saying that this is a well-informed associate. Y'all know who they talking about? Oh, flat face Camilla Tomlin. And we all know how delusional this old crazy bat is, and how she just begs anybody that she comes close to, please, please say something bad about Harry and Meghan. Please say, y'all remember when she had Boris Johnson on her show, and you could see, I swear, when he was talking about Harry and Meghan and talking about how he liked Harry and Meghan, you could absolutely, if you listen close enough, you could hear her heart breaking. This woman is personally invested in the fact that Harry and Meghan are successful, and she and her cohorts, all her flying monkeys, have not been able to stop them. And she is butthurt. When I tell you she is butthurt, she is. And so now she laid down in her fevered dream and came up with this nonsense. And here Tom Sykes is talking about floating an idea. Well, what she did was she absolutely sit there and pulled this out of her butt after she had a fever dream. That's exactly what happened. But let's go on what it says. It says, former royal correspondent Camilla Tomney, did Harry settle with Rupert Murdoch's news group newspaper because he didn't want to rattle the cage of newly inaugurated Donald Trump? Now, I know sometimes I don't get the connection, but where in the world is that connection? These people, I'm telling you, and you talk about corrupt. She is the ultimate of corruption. I cannot stand that flat faced woman, but I digress. And it goes on to say, it was, of course, purely an accident of timing that Harry's case finally resolved itself on Wednesday last week, 2 days after Donald Trump's inauguration and dizzy blur of activity and the liberal trolling by the new president. This woman is associating the settlement that Harry got, which he got everything he wanted from Rupert Murdoch, including the bent knee, the apology, that somehow Harry did that because Trump inauguration. I mean, the desperation. I can smell it from over here. She stinks. I mean, she absolutely rotten with it. And it goes on to say, however, Tomini raised the point that now might not have been the best time for Harry to leave the U.S. to participate in a case, as it would have been all too easy for the Trump administration not to let him back in. This is what this woman is telling herself to try to keep herself sane. Because if she didn't tell herself all of these far fetched lies, I think she would absolutely lose that little pea brain of hers. She would lose her mind because she is just that invested. Harry has worn them out to the point where they cannot stand it anymore. Because, like I said in the beginning of this particular pop up, these people are so used to being able to destroy lives anytime they get ready. They have done everything. They have thrown the whole kitchen sink and just the entire house at Harry and Meghan, and Harry and Meghan is still standing. And they really take that as an affront because they are forced to see that they are just a rinky dink organization with not as much power as they thought they had. And even the most powerful had to bend a knee to Prince Harry. And that right there, their brains just cannot handle it. They have to make up these fever dream fantasies about somehow Harry didn't want to come to court. That's the reason he settled, because Trump would not let him back in America. What is wrong with this woman? This woman is totally crazy. And said the right wing Heritage Foundation, the think tank behind the Project 2025, is seeking to have Harry deported if it's determined that he lied about using illegal drugs on his immigration form. They don't know how Harry got in America. And let me absolutely remind this old battle axe that Harry did not enter America while Biden was president. He entered America while Trump was president. And all I can say to that is, if they were so concerned about Prince Harry, why did they let them in? And let's look at who is all up in the administration right now. The wives, they got immigration suspicions too. I'm just saying. So we really want to absolutely address that particular thing, because at the end of the day, everybody's immigration status can be looked at, because Republicans are not going to be in power forever. That's all I am saying. And so they talking about they want him deported. Well, they just said it right out loud, didn't they? We knew this is what the Heritage Foundation was about. This is what that old Niles Gardner was using the Heritage Foundation for. Because at the end of the day, the Heritage Foundation here in America has no dog in that fight. It only has a dog in the fight. The only person who has a dog in that fight is Niall Gardner. Niall Gardner, who is a British citizen and probably working in hand in glove with one of those palaces over there, because they cannot stand seeing Harry happy and living in a place that he loves. They cannot do it. And so they're going to try to do everything they can to try to destroy his life. But they don't understand. It's not America that brings Harry happiness. It's his family. And wherever his family is will always be home for Harry. I'm just saying. So they go into a whole lot of nonsense about that, but they really, really are starting this whole little old scenario narrative saying that that's the reason Harry settled. Well, number one, that whole fantasy that he settled, because we know that the person who bent the knee was Murdoch. It was not Harry. And Murdoch had to throw everybody over the side of the boat to bend that knee. And but they have to absolutely just pacify themselves and make up all of these old fanciful type theories that that's the reason Harry won this case. It's because he was afraid that if he came over there for the trial, if he came over there came over to the UK for the trial, he somehow would not be let back in the United States, like he's some kind of criminal. These people and that old flat face, Camilla Tominey, and that old thumb head Tom Sykes. These people are so sick in the head. I'm just saying. But yes, this is what they're gonna go with. I see it right now. Harry absolutely settled. This is what they are saying to make themselves feel good, to absolutely keep that old demon spirit that they have congruent, where they'll be able to live with this win, because they can't live with it any other way. They have to come up with, and y'all know that is a something people who have problems mentally do. They have to find some kind of way to make things congruent, because when things are incongruent, it makes them uncomfortable. And so, in order for these people to feel like their life is more congruent and they're justified in their hatred and justified in their pursuit of Prince Harry, they have to come up with this old crazy theory to make themselves feel good. And that's all this is. But here we go, y'all. Here we go. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. Bye.